World War II was a monumental conflict that spanned from 1939 to 1945, involving many of the world's nations in a global struggle. Among the various theaters of war, the Pacific War was a crucial battleground where Allied forces, predominantly led by the United States, faced off against the Empire of Japan. One of the key operations within this theater was the battle for the Tadji Air Strip, a part of the New Guinea Campaign. In the broader context of World War II, the New Guinea Campaign was vital for the Allies to secure their supply lines and prepare for the eventual invasion of the Philippines. The operation, specifically known as Operation Persecution, was initiated to capture the strategically important Tadji Air Strip and isolate Japanese forces stationed in the region. The landing on April 22, 1944, was part of a larger plan to neutralize the Japanese presence and pave the way for further Allied advances. The territory of New Guinea had been under Japanese control since December 1942. The Japanese had constructed the Tadji Airfield, which played a crucial role in their defensive network. By early 1944, the Allied forces, under the command of General Douglas MacArthur, had devised a strategy to bypass larger Japanese garrisons and instead target more vulnerable points. Intelligence reports indicated that the target area was lightly defended, making it an attractive target for the Allies. The operation to capture the area involved an amphibious landing supported by a massive naval and air bombardment. Task Force 58, led by Vice Admiral Mark Mitcher, bombarded Japanese positions to clear the way for the landing troops. The landing force, commanded by Brigadier General Jens A. Do and composed primarily of the 163rd Infantry Regiment of the 41st Infantry Division, faced minimal resistance initially. The Japanese defenders, outnumbered and caught off guard, mostly retreated into the surrounding hills. Securing the Tadji Airfield was a primary objective for the Allied forces. On April 22, as the infantry secured the beachhead, elements of the Royal Australian Air Force went ashore to repair and make the airfield operational. Within 48 hours, the airfield was ready for use, and Allied fighter planes began landing, providing crucial air support for the ongoing operations. The initial stages of the operation saw limited Japanese resistance. However, as the Allies pushed further inland, they encountered sporadic but determined Japanese attacks. One significant encounter occurred at Kumti village, where American forces engaged in intense fighting with a Japanese force. Despite these skirmishes, the Allies managed to secure the area, establishing a defensive perimeter around Tadji Airfield. The strategic importance of the airfield cannot be overstated. It provided the Allies with a critical base for launching air operations and supporting further advances into Japanese-held territory. The capture effectively isolated the Japanese 18th Army, which was concentrated around WWII. This isolation hampered Japanese efforts to reinforce their positions and allowed the Allies to focus on their next objectives. Following the initial success, American forces continued to face challenges from Japanese counterattacks. The Japanese, under General Adachi, launched several offensives to retake the airfield and disrupt Allied operations. Despite these efforts, the Japanese were unable to dislodge the Allied forces, who maintained their control over the region. In November 1944, Australian forces took over from the American troops, and they used the area as a base for further operations in the region. The Australians conducted a series of campaigns against the remaining Japanese forces, steadily pushing them back and reducing their ability to launch effective counterattacks. This ongoing campaign continued until the end of the war in August 1945.
This is my true
Much obliged you hopped on board for this snazzy trip through American life in the 1940s and 1950s, all captured through nifty vintage photographs. If this flick's got your motor running, don't be a square. Click on that jolly bucket of bolts to subscribe to the channel for more top drawer content just like this.